Happy birthday, grandfather.
Hi, Pop.
Happy birthday, grandfather.
Happy birthday, grandfather. I love you. Bye.
Happy birthday, grandfather.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hi, Pop.
Happy birthday, grandfather.
Happy birthday, grandfather.
Happy birthday, grandfather. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Pop.
Happy birthday, grandfather.
Happy birthday, grandfather.
Happy birthday, grandfather.
Happy birthday, grandfather.
Hi, grandfather. Happy birthday.
What I learned from grandfather is, besides all the facts I learned from the answer grape over the years, is family first.
A clean car is a happy car.
I've learned a lot from you about the world of education, and I always loved hearing your stories about when you were a teacher, a principal, and a superintendent, and just how you can make a positive impact on people, especially the ones who do not come from the best home lives.
The main thing that I learned from grandfather is that you never pay more than 20 cents for a can of soda.
Grandfather taught me how to play chess.
Pop has taught me the values of hard work.
I learned how to play Tetris from grandfather.
There's so many things I've learned from grandfather, but the one that stands out is the fact that allergies aren't real. It's all just made up. Who would have known?
Besides, eat your crust and brush your teeth. One major thing that I learned that I guess a big part from grandfather was my faith. And he always showed all of us that it was what we did and how important it was to all of us.
Taught me how to treat people nicely.
I think I learned the most. Probably just how gross the ends of bananas are.
Yeah. So, I actually have 3 things I learned from grandfather. The first is never say no to a free donut, because it's always better than not having a donut, and you really never regret eating a donut. The second thing is honesty is always the best policy. It works for everything. You never can get it wrong because it's the truth, and it really works for all parts of life. And the third thing is that there is no limit to the number of times the same pile of wood can be moved. However, I promise there's always a good reason, and that's something I learned from you.
What do you like to do with grandfather? Do you like to play with grandfather?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to go on the boat with grandfather.
My favorite memory with grandfather is all the family road trips with Mama and grandfather in the van with us. I liked our DC trip, Indianapolis, and I'll never forget our race in Washington, DC.
I had fun walking with you and finding golf ball.
One of my favorite memories was when you and Ma'am took me to the BC football game a few years ago. And every time BC scored a touchdown, you would ask Ma'am if she wanted to be tossed up by the fans in the student section to celebrate every touchdown.
My favorite memory with Pop is biking with him and Mimi and Maine.
My favorite memory with grandfather is playing mini golf.
My favorite memories of grandfather are just growing up. He was always part of every family event. You could always count on him to always be there with Mama, of course. It's just always nice to see his face at family parties or at football games or other sporting events. So it was great to see every time.
I liked when grandfather flipped pancakes and they went on the ceiling, then they fall onto the floor.
There's too many, but if I had to narrow it down to just one, I think it would just be a general lake house in the summer. Us out on the boat and then having a barbecue. I think that would be my favorite memory.
I don't have just one favorite memory of grandfather. My favorite memories of grandfather are all the conversations that we've had, whether they be about the law, about family, about sports, or about our mutual love of sociology. Those are my favorite, and I cherish every one of them.
So there are far too many memories to just pick one. Mainly my favorite memories are of the lake house, but Alex already took that. So one really awesome memory was the year before I got married, when Mom and Grandfather took Elizabeth and I into Boston and took us through his childhood, and we got to see Jamaica Plain and all the place where he caused trouble growing up, and that was really fun to see the history of our family. And a more recent and memorable memory that comes to mind was after I had Emily and I was in the hospital, and I didn't even know people knew she was born yet, and we weren't even allowed to hold her yet, and Mom and Grandfather were already in the hospital, and that was so special. I think she was like maybe an hour old, and but they didn't even get to hold her, but that was an awesome memory having them there.
One of my favorite memories is actually slave camp with you. You know, it was always just so much fun moving wood, doing dump runs, and you know, trying to remove all of the forestry from central New Hampshire to try and make nature really look like the inside of your garage.
My favorite memories of Grandfather are playing checkers up at the lake house after supper. That was one of my favorite things. Mom has a picture. Actually, Grandfather, I think it's on your desk, with my little black horse after my birthday, of us playing checkers. So I loved that. That was awesome.
I like when Grandfather has donuts at his house.
You love donuts.
Yep, I do.
I like how he comes down to watch all our games.
I love how I can always check in with you about the Red Sox, and you always seem to know exactly what they need to get the next victory.
My favorite memory with Pop is biking with him and Mimi and me.
One thing I really love about you is the fact that it doesn't matter if we're just driving up and down 93 and we're passing exit 22 and we can pull in, or if you know, we've been planning a visit for months. It always feels the same when we come to visit. You are always so excited to see us, and it's just, you know, great having a conversation with you, eating some devil dogs and ice cream, hanging out with you and Ma'am, you know, sneaking Lucky a little bit of ice cream, and helping you out with any tech problems or landscaping issues you're having at the time.
Say, I love you.
I love
I love you.
I love
I love you, Grandfather. Grandfather.
I love that Grandfather gets donuts for me.
I love Grandfather's lifelong love of learning.
What I love about Grandfather is that he shows up for everything, that he's at our games, at our parties, at all the important days. Grandfather is there with Mama too.
I love how Grandfather made pancakes for me.
My favorite things about Grandfather are, well, sort of everything, but I think his ability to be steady and sort of always the same, always loving, open, full of advice, just his willingness to sort of jump in and help in any way.
I love you, Grandfather. Love you, Grandfather.
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
One of the many things I love about Grandfather is that he's always there. With Mama too, of course. But growing up, it was almost like all of us grandkids had bonus parents, because it's always a question, oh, is Mom and Grandfather going to be there? Because it's usually assumed that they are. Every party, every game, every milestone, graduation, and event, and you were always there.
What I love about Grandfather is that he always seems to have some story, some fact, or some opinion about everything, and he's willing to debate with me about them. That's what I absolutely love.
Is family first.
Family first. Okay. Well, that was good that Mommy said. So I guess that went okay. Wait. What am I taking? Does this stop right now? Yeah, Charlie is the best. Charlie is the best. He went out of the ocean. Then he saw the Charlie shark, and then they said,
Go.
You didn't do it. Mom. I'm waiting for you to say start.
She did it again.
It started. Go.
No,
I'll
Mom.
fix it. Go ahead.
No, Mom, just
It's funny.
stop it.
So go ahead. Don't like
Stop it.
One thing I've learned from Pop is how to sneak into a Red Sox game without paying.
The Grandfather.
you say Gran? Huh? Is it Gran?
Gran.
Yeah.
Father.
Yeah.
Grandfather. Father. Give him a kiss. Mwah! Yay! Mwah! I wrote you a haiku for your birthday. Grandfather. Hooray! You.
Oh, I forgot the rest of it. I need it.
No, don't send that video.